on this cold and snowy day. I just can't wait for winter to see the spotlight to spring. But until then, just know that our snow fighters are on the case, and they've been out. Gosh, they've been prepping. You may have seen the lines in the street, pre-treated for Brian yesterday, and they've been out since midnight working to try to make sure everyone can get through the community safely. And I'm glad that you all got here safely today, so thank you. I also want to just acknowledge that we have some VIPs here in the room. All of you are VIPs, but I want to especially acknowledge Council Member Sandra Washington, who's here with us, and former Council Member Carl Eskridge, who is also here. And thank you to all of you for your leadership in this community. Day in and day out, we are a successful community because of your efforts, and it is truly just a beautiful day to be talking about the kinds of things we'll be doing together into the future. This week marks the 1-year anniversary of the American Rescue Plan. It's hard to believe that it's actually been a year ago tomorrow that historic legislation was passed. And we're so grateful for that legislation and the historic funding, the direct funding that is coming straight to cities and states through that legislation. And the American Rescue Plan has resulted in immediate relief for many of our community members. And it is also bolstering the city and county's work to support a diverse, thriving, and growing local economy. And welcome, Councilman McGinnis. Richard McGinnis, thank you for being here too, another one of our city VIPs. Our partnership with Lancaster County was intentional. After we received these funds, both the county and the city received an allocation. We wanted to work together to make sure that we were maximizing these resources. It sounds like a lot of money, 108 between the two of us, 108 million, but we know that there's great need. So we worked together to try to make sure we weren't having any overlap and that we were making the best decisions for our community. Well, on the city side of that equation, we are deploying close to half of our American Rescue Plan funds to support and assist small businesses and to advance workforce development in our community. And to date, we have prioritized investments that have granted nearly $7 million in support to small businesses. And that's actually to over 250 small businesses, to be more exact. And these businesses represent over 2,800 employees in our community. And of those over 250 small businesses, 42% of them are micro businesses. We were really trying to target some that were most disproportionately impacted and help them stabilize. And those micro businesses got $1.5 million of that 7. County dollars, as many of you know, have provided substantial investments to support 30 nonprofits that address some of our most vulnerable community members' pandemic-related needs, including funding for food and housing and utilities, mental health and child care, advancing racial equity and victim safety. The city and county is using a portion of American Rescue Plans to enhance our city-county public health system, of course, and to address other important foundational needs like rural broadband and rural water. The American Rescue Plan has been instrumental in helping us to meet the immediate critical needs of our community and lift up our neighbors because it's come directly to us. And at the same time, this historic legislation not only meets immediate needs, it's helping us invest in the future. It's helping us to accelerate our economic recovery and growth into the long term. And in our community, we knew before the pandemic started that workforce was a key priority and challenge for our success. And we are going to be making significant investments in workforce development because of that. And that's why we're here today. Today we are announcing the recipients of the Workforce Grant Program that was established using the state and local fiscal recovery funds. Workforce development is a key issue. It was identified specifically, called out specifically by my Economic Recovery Task Force that we convened in the wake of the earliest days of the pandemic. And the task force highlighted the need for skilled workers in high demand fields, and we feel those needs even more acutely today. So ensuring workers have access to rewarding and financially secure careers that enable them to provide for themselves and their families is a top priority. It has been, it will continue to be. Ensuring businesses and organizations can secure the workforce they need to be successful and grow our local economy is an equally important priority. And backing these priorities with major funding from the American Rescue Plan is a win-win for Lincoln's workers and employers. Last August, we announced that $12 million in competitive grant funding would be available over the next 3 years to help workers impacted by the pandemic gain new skills, find new opportunities, and help our city grow. And today we are delighted to announce the following awards. Bryan Health will receive over $1 million for 125 participants a year to receive certified nursing assistant or phlebotomy training. And with us today is Valerie Hunt, the Director of Philanthropy and the Major Gifts Officer for the Bryan Foundation. And we're so pleased that you could be with us for this announcement. The Center for People in Need will receive almost $600,000 to train 40 students per year in the Google Career Certificate Program. The Center's Director of Development, Joanne Emerson, is representing the Center for People in Need here today. The Lincoln Manufacturing Council will receive about $2 million to provide 2 types of classes. 14 Manufacturing Certification 1 classes will be offered to 225 participants over 3 years. And 12 Manufacturing Certification 2 classes will be offered to 200 participants. And with us today are Allison Hatch, the Director of Workforce Development for the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development, and Jason Ball, our new President of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. Rabble Mill will receive about $2 million for its Workforce Readiness Program and to fund building improvements that supports that initiative. And Mike Smith and Andrew Norman are here from Rabble Mill, and we're glad you're here. Southeast Community College will receive about $4.5 million to build and equip the Information Technology and STEM Center, and for its welding technology program. And SCC President Dr. Paul Illich is with us today. The STEM Center will be specifically designed to provide robust and customized reskilling and upskilling in high-demand careers like information technology, manufacturing, and welding. And that'll help us create an innovative and scalable approach to rapid and adaptive training and retraining of the City of Lincoln workforce. We know that this is not a one-time deal. We've got to be able to continue these efforts far into the future. Community Action will receive about $1 million to provide child development associate credential training to 30 participants a year. And I just would like to note that one of the key sectors we are supporting is childcare, because we understand how this pandemic has disparately impacted women, single parents, and caregivers. And we want to do our part to equitably advance the workforce and leave no family behind. Here to talk more about the program and the need for it will be Community Action Executive Director Heather Lockman. Heather?
Well, thank you, Mayor, and it is certainly a great privilege and honor to share in this announcement, which is great for us and great for the City of Lincoln. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Heather Lockman. I am the CEO of Community Action. And before I share more about our project, I did want to recognize a few board members who are in attendance with us today. Carl Eskridge, of course, David Lux, and Scott Larson. Thank you so much for being here today. I did also want to recognize our staff who are in attendance. Staff, if you want to kind of wave your hands. Thank you also for being here today. Yes, indeed. Community Action is an anti-poverty organization with a mission to empower people living in poverty to reach economic stability. We achieve that mission through the provision of 17 programs and services in 4 impact areas, and those are early childhood education, homelessness prevention, financial and family well-being, and hunger relief and healthy food access. Community Action provides high-quality early childhood education services to 493 children through Early Head Start and Head Start programming at no cost to families. Our programs are designed to prepare children with greater risk factors for success in kindergarten and beyond. And we, of course, know that the most critical component in our ability to be successful in that effort is having a strong, highly skilled, highly qualified workforce of early childhood professionals. And we also know that the early childhood education sector, both locally and across the state, faces a critical workforce shortage. Through the grant that Mayor Gaylor Baird has announced this morning, Community Action Head Start will launch an on-the-job training program, providing individuals the opportunity to earn credentials to advance in early childhood education careers while employed with us. The program uses evidence-based strategies for supporting workforce development outcomes and will address potential barriers to success through provision of supportive services, including childcare and transportation assistance, technology and materials to support educational attainment, and stipends while participants are working toward earning their credentials. We are thrilled and honored to have the opportunity to support our neighbors in increasing their professional skill sets, growing their wages, advancing their careers, and ultimately achieving greater economic stability. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And we know that your work has ripple effects for every other employer across the community who has faced the challenges that lack of access to childcare has presented most profoundly in the last couple of years. So thank you for not only helping people in that sector, but everyone else too. So these awards represent major investments in workforce development for key industries in our community, including childcare and early childhood education, the health sciences, information technology, manufacturing, welding, and youth employment. But wait, there's more. Whenever possible, we are intentionally working to enroll these participants in these workforce training programs to co-enroll them in our Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, or WIOA, as you may know it more familiarly. This will allow us to provide some wraparound services and job placement assistance. So by co-enrolling participants, these ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan funds, will be even more effective in linking people to economic opportunity, workers to workforce opportunities. Our WIOA team has added even further value and support to this workforce development effort by engaging with some of the grant applicants who are not here today, who did not actually receive awards. I'm proud that our WIOA team has established specialized job training contacts supporting skill development for the workforce at several other employers in Lincoln who aren't with us. The big takeaway here is that we have leveraged the American Rescue Plan funds in multiple ways to maximize workforce development success in our community. And finally, I do want to acknowledge and thank the committee that reviewed all the grant applications that we received and who made recommendations for approval. And this group included the co-chairs of my Economic Recovery Task Force, Ava Thomas, the president and publisher of the Lincoln Journal-Star, and Angie Muehlheisen, the president and CEO of Union Bank and Trust. So you had some champions behind all of you. In the heart of this pandemic, we saw and understood the struggles of working people and folks who were struggling to make ends meet because of lost work hours, people who made difficult choices about family well-being and bringing home a paycheck, and workers who rose to the challenges to meet the needs of our communities. So these grants really do represent the best projects our community has to offer to provide skills that help our workers and help our community succeed. We're so pleased to be able to lift them up, to lift all of them up, and the potential for what this means for our community into the long term. Thank you, everyone who's here, for the work you do every day and for what you will be able to do with these resources. We're so proud to partner with you. And with that, we would be happy to take any questions now, and representatives from the agencies receiving the grants can also potentially answer some questions, although this is all very fresh. So we're still working through and finalizing the contracts, but happy to take any questions there may be online from media folks. If they know how to reach us.
We usually do these by Zoom, so
It's different.
has a
Yeah.
chance to ask questions, but I don't think we have any today.
Okay. well, there'll be more news to come as these projects take shape and form. And thank you again for your incredible work and partnership. Thank you.